There's levels to this shit I'm trying to tell you I'm on. Why you always acting like you never do wrong?
Welcome back, guys, to Movie Mics from Broken the Built podcast. Today I have a special guest. His name is Andrew Rosenbarker, and he used to preach at Two Rivers Church, and he has a long history of being involved in the community, and he's a very positive figure, both in my life and many others. And I just want to welcome him, with warm, regards, and thank you for just your influence in my life, man.
Come on. Well, I appreciate it, Mike, Movie Mike. I've kind of known you, and we've been in similar circles for a long time, and seen you do a lot of hip hop videos and like tone chop videos, and seen you kind of produce a lot of great content. So it's cool to be able to connect with you and kind of help you through some difficult moments in your life, and
absolutely,
and help bring healing to your journey. And I love the title, Built, Broken to Built, man. It's such a beautiful expression of what we go through in life. I think in life, the best things are built from the ground up. So sometimes
Absolutely.
You go through the broken moments, and it's those moments where everything's torn down. But once you have that solid foundation, like even this building, the solid foundation of this building had some concrete laid, and then they built up from there. So I think your best days are still ahead. I think whoever's watching this, if you're going through some painful moments and some difficulty, build your foundation on God, on Christ. He's the firm foundation, the rock, and you're going to build up and you're going to do great things and impact the world for sure.
Appreciate that, man. Now I consider myself to be spiritually immature right now because I just started walking in his name.
Yeah.
I came to you a couple months back when I reached my low.
Yeah.
And I had an interest in wanting to be reborn. I sought you out for that. And also we had a really deep conversation about struggles I was going through in my relationship. You prayed over me. And then since then, you've been checking in with me. I haven't always been available, but you haven't given up on me. And I appreciate anybody who's like that in my life. They're probably meant to be there. And those are things we should never ignore.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're still reaching out to me, you still say you're thinking of me when it comes to projects, and that we both are on a path to kind of find ourselves again. I know you already have established yourself within the community.
Yeah.
I'm rebuilding my life. I'm trying to figure out what this next phase is. I want it to be based around spirituality. I just don't know where to get in, where I fit in yet. But I'm thankful that you and I are at least having a dialogue right now to figure out what's next.
Come on. I love it. And I think that helps you through the painful moments in life is when you have hope and an idea of where you're headed. Like if you get in a place where you have no vision for tomorrow, you start living in despair. I like this analogy I heard a lot. There's two scientists, they put a mouse in a glass of water, and this mouse is pedaling, trying to stay afloat. And it lasted for maybe a day.
Yeah.
And then it succumbed to drowning in the water. But it was about to drown. And basically the scientists reached down, rescued the mouse out of the water, and then the next day put the same mouse into the cup of water, and this mouse is same thing, treading water, trying to stay afloat.
Yeah.
And the scientist came down and reached for the mouse. And it's like, hey, we're gonna pull it out. But the mouse actually went like 3 days before it went under again. And the only thing that changed is the same mouse, the same water, the same environment. But it had hope that somebody's coming to the rescue. Somebody's going to help them through this drowning feeling, and their hope is on the way. So it actually extended their life longer.
Wow, man.
So that's what I feel like with God, man. God, he sees us where we're at. Jesus says that, we're going to go through trials. We're going to go through difficult moments. But he says, take heart, I've overcome the world, right? Like, he went through probably the most painful moments that anybody could go through. He was betrayed by one of his close disciples. He was, stood trial. He was beaten. He was, they put a crown of thorns, like jammed thorns into his head.
Yeah, man.
Whipped him and had him carry this heavy cross, right? And just he went through probably the most painful moments anybody could go through in life. But even in all that, he said, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing. And he gives us life. He died for us. He rose for us. And he understands pain. So, I'm going to share a lot of different painful things that I've been through. And for me, Jesus Christ has saved my life. He's changed me. He's brought healing. Like he can actually heal and restore. And that's one of his characteristics, is being able to heal. Even when Jesus walked this earth over 2,000 years ago, he healed people. He healed the lame. He healed people with leprosy, people that were outcast from society. Like, don't come near our colony, right? This is where everybody's just an outcast. He'd walk right into these leper colonies and just lay his hand on somebody that has leprosy, and they'd be healed. And he still brings healing today. Physical healing, emotional healing, mental healing, just restores your soul.
Why do you think so many people turn their backs on him, like when they're going through their trials? Like they find him again when they reach their lows. Like why don't we turn to him when we're celebrating victories too? And
I think when difficulties come, you can harden your heart, or you can turn to him. I think God allows painful situations for us all to actually draw us closer to him. I think probably some of the best days of my life, where I felt really close to God, where I felt his presence, I could feel just this hope for tomorrow. In the midst of pain and suffering was probably the painful moments. So you would like to say maybe my most painful days were my best days. Kind of flips your perspective that the struggles were the blessing.
Right.
You know what I mean? But he allows those things to happen in our life, and I would highly suggest to turn to Jesus, because you're gonna experience him in a way that is life changing and redemptive, and it's a beautiful thing, man. And the ones that turn away, out of resentment or hurt or God, you let me down, their life generally doesn't get any better. You know what I mean? It just creates more hardness of heart, and you become bitter and angry, and it's just not a good place to be in. It's not a freeing environment,
I definitely feel like I was living like that for a long time, man. I believe I was like a spiritual shopper. I was looking around for what would be something I could cling to. And I didn't know enough about any of the religions in order to really adopt them. And it wasn't until this person that I have a lot of feelings for entered my life, and she kind of pushed me towards Christ in many ways. And not only that, soon as I started accepting that I want this path, people just randomly started showing up, and others started leaving. Like people that weren't serving me anymore, just up and left. And new people came. And sometimes, this might sound weird, man, but I feel like God is speaking to me through others sometimes.
Absolutely.
Like the conversations I would have when I was at Advanced Auto Parts, they would be exactly what I needed to hear in those moments.
Come on. That's awesome.
And I love that kind of stuff, man. Does that ever happen to you?
Oh, absolutely. God's always speaking, man. He's speaking nonstop. It's just a matter of, are we tuned into what channel he's on, He speaks primarily through the Word of God. He speaks through visions. He speaks through dreams. He speaks through prophetic words. He speaks through prophecy through people. He speaks through, people that have wisdom in their life that can, just some accountability partners. And then just even funny thing too, you'll speak through movies. Like you'll watch a movie, and then all of a sudden there'll be a story in there. It's like, oh man, that was for me. It's crazy. It might be a TV show, a movie,
Right.
but he's always speaking, man. And it's a spiritual thing for me. Like I've never heard like an audible, Andrew, and like, but it's like in my gut. It's like a still small voice. It's a knowing. It's an intuition. It's like I understand the whole thing. Like I just downloaded the whole book into my guts, and I just know things. And he gives me visions for the things. And even us connecting today, like I think is part of the vision. And for me personally, like I'm like really going after my relationship with God. Like I'll fast and pray twice a week, man. Like I'm spending time with the Lord. I'm like Sunday night, I'll eat dinner, and then I won't eat again until Monday night. So I go 24 hours. I'm in a truck, I'm driving, I'm just worshiping God, I'm getting into the Word, I'm listening to podcasts, I'm praying for people, and I feel like literally just like an SD card getting hooked into a computer, like we sync up.
Yeah, man.
And I just feel the presence of God so intensely, and fresh vision, fresh creative ideas for things, and also like, Thursday night, I'll eat dinner Thursday night, and then I won't eat again until Friday night. And I've just been doing that for the last year. And I feel probably this has been one of the most like intentional years where I'm just really connecting to God. And that's the thing. Like, it's more than just like a thought. It's more than just like, hey, I have an idea, or this is what my parents indoctrinated me with. Like, I experience the presence of God. Like, it's a spiritual feeling. The fruits of the Spirit, the Bible says, is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, self-control. Like everything that you would want in life is just available,
Yeah.
And before Christ, man, I was going hard the other direction. I was going for the fighting, the anger, the sleeping around, the pleasures of this world, and they'd make you good for an hour or two, and then the next morning you're just like, what did I do?
Man.
But I'm just a regular guy, man. Like if you're watching this, I'm an evangelist. Yes, I'm a pastor. Yes, I preach different places. I've spoken many different venues, but I'm just a regular dude. I grew up in a trailer. I grew up in a poverty mindset. And kind of maybe if you want to unpack some of the trauma that I've been through.
I would love to get into some of that.
We'll get some through that.
Yeah.
So I think one of the first traumatic moments of my life, I was 4 years old, and we had a babysitter, right? So this lady, she was 13 years old, teenage girl, basically was really persistent on like babysitting me and my brother. And we're at the trailer and stuff. And basically, kind of the first time she molested me was, I went to the bathroom, and, she's like, oh, you got to wash your hands before you go back out there. So I'm like, yeah, definitely. And I'm turning the water on, and I'm washing my hands. And she's like, you're going to have to dry your hands too. And when it came to like drying my hands, she like shut the lights off and like threw my face into her cooch. You know what I'm saying? And
man.
like, and it was just like, I'm 4 years old. I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
And then we went on, whatever. I was 4. I didn't really know what was going on. I just thought it was weird, like that ain't a paper towel,
Jeez,
man. And then, another time she brought like another friend over, probably another 13-year-old girl. And like, they had me in the bathroom, and they're both like scissoring me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like both take like at the same time. And I'm just like 4 years old. Like, what is this? This is like weird. You know what I mean? I didn't really understand what was happening. And probably one of the final moments I can remember, I was up on the top bunk and my brother was on the bottom, but this babysitter was up on the top bunk with me, and she's like, oh, I'm going to be up here to help you go to sleep. And like, I just remember her going under the blanket, and like, I remember, I don't know if she bit my dick or something, but she did something that like, I was like, ouch,
Man.
And my brother was underneath, and he's like, is everything all right up there? And like, that's when I told my brother, like, hey, this thing's been going on. Then we told my parents, and, nothing ever happened to this lady too. I remember we went to the police, but they're like, this kid's 4. Like they didn't. I don't know. I can't. I still don't to this day understand why nothing happened with her.
Yeah.
But it was just. I think in that moment, it just really caused distrust for my parents. Understanding of what a safe person to babysit your kids looks like. Kind of caused some distrust there. Also caused distrust for like females, and it was just a painful thing that I went through, and I didn't understand. I was just too young to like. That was probably one of my earlier memories in life, and it was a painful thing. And that's another thing. You will remember the painful things that happen in your life.
Yeah.
You don't remember all the good times, but those painful moments, like that moment, I'm never going to forget. There's so many other memories that I did when I was 4. I don't remember any of them.
Damn, man.
You know what I mean? But you remember painful moments. I remember when I was 12 years old riding a horse, the neighbor's horse, and the horse bucked me off, and
Right.
I broke my wrist. Like I'm on the ground rolling in the mud holding my wrist that's broken, and this horse is like trying to stomp me out.
Oh, man.
And I'm in this electrified, horse pen. Like I try to get out, and like the fence is electrified, so you can't even climb it. Like, and I'm getting chased by this horse, and we had to like run up a couple hundred feet to the ladder, and it was just like crazy. But I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't remember much of being 12 either. You know what I mean? Like I don't remember a lot of memories, but the painful things you go through in life, you remember. And so that was a painful moment. But I feel like the molestation thing really just damaged me, man. I felt like I was not in control. I felt like my rights were taken away. I felt like they're just going to do what they're going to do with me. And, and thank God there's like no penetration. There's nothing like even on like, it could have been a lot worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're a bunch of sickos, man. And, so I went through that.
What you talked about how it creates distrust in women, not to like relate to it, but I do relate to what you say. And I was afraid of women for a long time with my experience. Yeah. Did you find that it was hard to get close to women after that?
Yeah. So like I didn't like throughout my life, like there's only probably a handful of women I've dated, or done things with. Part of it, trying to keep myself pure before the Lord. The second thing was like, I'm going to get hurt somehow. You know what I mean? I didn't want to get in a relationship. And a lot of my relationships prior, in my teen years, before my wife, a lot of hurt, a lot of being cheated on, a lot of just damage done that way that caused a lot of hurt and more distress and more distrust in relationships. And but man, I've been with my wife since 2004.
Wow. We've
been married since 2008, and it's been a beautiful marriage, man. Like, it hasn't been perfect. I don't think there's a perfect marriage, but we got a son, he's 14 and he's crushing it, and we got a nice stable home. So kind of real quick too, I'll share some of my other traumas, and then we'll kind of get into like how I found healing and success. And
yeah, please do, man.
Another big thing that caused a lot of trauma for me is just the environment that I was in. It was a Christian environment. Like my parents are saved. My dad was an alcoholic. My brother, alcoholic, drug addict. But one of the first moments in my life where I actually experienced the presence of God was in the kitchen with my mom, Sherry, and we were praying together, and I felt this presence in my hands. Like I couldn't move my hands left, right, up or down. Like they're like stuck right here. And I just felt this like energy going through my hands. And in that moment, I'm like, okay, God's real. This is more than what my parents are indoctrinating me in. Like I felt the presence of the Holy Spirit, man. And so I knew God was real. I knew he was alive. But the situation in our household, like especially when we got in our teen years, pretty much 12 to 24, I was in active addiction. Started off kind of slow, drinking a couple beers here, stealing some Percocets from my friend's mom, or, just kind of started off kind of slow, but eventually I was drawn to the party scene. Like that's where life is. Everybody's having a blast over there partying. Yeah. Everybody's having a good time. But being in the house that I was in, living in a trailer, hoarding, I couldn't even use my own closet for my own clothes because there's just hoarded stuff from my mom was saving for some garage sale someday. Like I lived in a single mattress. Literally, the first time I got like a queen size mattress was when I was 18, when I moved out with my wife. Yeah. But, basically there's a lot of fighting, pertaining primarily to my brother and my dad. My dad would hard working, man, working 2-3 jobs, come home, like my brother would be bumping some like Eminem or some loud rap music, and he'd try to sleep for the night and he couldn't sleep, and they'd get in arguments, and it got violent many times. Like I'd have to try to break up my brother and my dad fighting. And I remember one time my brother pulled a gun on my dad, and then another time my dad hit him with a frying pan. And
Damn.
I remember just being at a young age having to go to family court, which I didn't want to go to court. I don't want to go in court and talk about anything. Like I don't want to say anything, but like, hey, you're subpoenaed to go to this court thing. You're a witness to all this fighting, and trying to choose between my dad and my brother and then my mom, and, just kind of dealing with that. And then just seeing my parents fight all the time. And, I'd go outside the trailer and you could just hear for like a mile away them screaming to the top of their lungs, fighting and arguing. And I just remember being in that environment, like, man, when I get out of here, like, I'm not going to have this in my house. And my house now, man, it's blessed. Like, man, there's never really any fighting at all. It's a really healthy environment, my wife and son now. But yeah, I just like being in an environment where I feel like a lot of my trauma have been in places where things have been out of my control and just stuff done to me, other people's sins, other people's decisions impacting my life, and I just have to deal with it, And I think a lot of my trauma too is growing up in poverty. I wouldn't say like we weren't like on like government assistance. Like my dad worked hard. Like, I wouldn't say we were broke, but the concept of being in a filthy trailer, having friends over, and you got like stink bugs all over the place. They'd call me like they're going to the roach coach, or even my first vehicle I ever drove was a Geo Prism 1992, and my friends like did graffiti inside all the fabric and on the roof, and like the whole thing was just filled with art and graffiti, and they'd call it the roach coach, and but it's just kind of like the environment I was in, man. And I would say like we had a poverty mindset of how we lived life. It was always in lack. It was always like we could never get through, we could never get ahead. And so that's something that I've had to deal with most of my life. Poverty mindset. I'll be in successful environments, man. I remember like, I shared my testimony in front of the New York State Senate. I've spoken in front of, mayors of Binghamton or Broome County executives or Binghamton University. I'll be in environments and rooms where people are in suits and, they're listening to me, and I'm on news interviews, and like the whole time I'm just thinking like, I'm just this broke, poor kid from the trailer. And that's something I even deal with today. I'm 39 years old, man. And it's something that I've been having, like, and I'm not though, like I'm doing pretty good in life. But just that stigma of poverty is kind of just, it's something that I need to continue to work on. And so.
Did you ever feel like you didn't belong in those rooms?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, how did you, first of all, like, how do you even speak up in those rooms? How do you face that imposter syndrome? Knowing that these people are judging you in a way. Like, how do you stick it out like that?
So like, I like the Bible says, be slow to speak, quick to listen. I try to listen more, unless like I really have a good idea, and it gives me time to really think through what I'm going to say, because I don't want to just say like I'm the expert, you know.
Yeah.
But just kind of being in that environment, listening to what people are saying, and then just kind of when I do have something really good to say, I can share it, and they're like, oh man, that's good, you know. So, but yeah, that's one of those struggles of the damage that I've been through, just feeling like I fit into those environments, you know, and just kind of, it's a different world, man. Like I grew up in a different world than a lot of successful people deal with, you know. I remember times like I was just, even the other day, I was in the Bible study, a lot of, you know, there's a scientist in there's engineers, there's people that are well off in life, and I'm sharing about like, yeah, when I was a teenager, I was stealing alcohol from the store, you know, and kind of like explaining like the consciousness, like everybody's got a conscience. That when you sin, you feel like, okay, that was wrong, that wasn't good, you know. And then after you do it 3 or 4 times, then it's like you kind of get used to it, and then it's just like then you take on the identity, like now I'm a thief. Right. But I remember just even talking like, hey, we'd walk into these stores and we'd all 30 racks on each hand, multiple, like 7 people walk into these stores and just walk out with like hundreds of beers, you know. Like we're starting a kegger tonight, or a Keystone Ice party, you know, because none of us could buy alcohol, but we would just throw parties and stuff. So I think probably one of the next things I want to get into a little bit is kind of my addiction. Yeah. You know, 12 to 24. I think from 15 on is when it really became like almost every day. Then every day, all day long.
What was it?
So started off with alcohol, weed, and then prescription pills, Vicodin, Percocets, hydrocodones. You know, a little bit of cocaine. Yeah. You know. But for the most part, it was definitely alcohol, major alcoholic, drank a lot, went to a lot of parties. And that's kind of how it started, is like, I got all this pain on the inside of me. There's a struggle like, hey, am I going to follow God? Because I grew up in the church, I grew up a Christian, but then and that's another aspect too. I was homeschooled to 8th grade. So I was like this awkward homeschooler. Okay. I can barely read and write. Like when I went to public school, my first day in public school, I remember seeing this kid go up to another kid at the locker and kick him in the nuts. You know, just kicked him in the nuts and like threw him into the locker. And like, dang, this is public school. I got to adapt and evolve, or I'm going to be the kid that's getting pushed in the locker. Right. It's like, so the appeal of the party scene was just like, I was drawn to it. And, you know, just start off like, yeah, I'll just try these things. I'll just go to this party. And then it became like every weekend. Then it became like all day. And kind of going by what we were talking about earlier off camera was the social anxiety. So, you know, I could barely speak. When a teacher asked me to read something in class, I'd have butterflies in my gut. I would start shaking. Like I'd just like, and kids would laugh at me because I couldn't pronounce things and I couldn't read well, you know? So that was like, just being in social environments, I had to be high or drunk. In high school, I was always like, I wasn't drunk in school a couple times, but primarily I was smoking weed before school. I was taking pills all day. Like I was high the whole time in school. Yeah. Like I can't be around these people without being high or drunk. And a lot of it too is not only for the party scene, but it was like, I'm trying to numb all the pain and the stuff that I've been through in my early years, man. All the heartbreak, all the trauma, all the things that were done to me. I didn't know how to deal with it. So I'd turn to alcohol, I'd turn to whatever was available to numb the pain. And I did that for a long time. And, you know, just kind of just hanging out at different places. I remember one of the parties I went to was a state land party. And, you know, there's these 2 kids, Ned and Jared Ralston, man, they were at Maine Enwell, and you know, we threw like a a couch on the fire, and there's this massive like 20-foot flame, and one of them was like really drunk, and like he just ran like through this burning couch, and like his foot fell through like the cushion, and he was like stuck on this like burning couch, and he got burned, and like everybody, we're out in the woods, everybody's underage drinking, and we all just like he got out, but he's on the ground screaming, and we're all just pouring like beer on him. And he's just, I think it made it burn more. But the sad thing about that too is, you know, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago, I did the funeral for both of them.
Damn, man.
They both overdosed and died, man. You know, and these are kids that I rode the bus with, man. I would talk with them, we partied, you know, and they're no longer here, man, you know. So the addiction, it started off fun. Yeah, we're going to these parties. Another party I went to, I was hanging out with some Crips, you know, and we went to this party out in the woods, multiple keggers, and you know, one of my cousin Ben, he fought this one guy and beat him up, and we're still at this party, like, hey, ain't nobody gonna mess with us, and you know, and then it came time to like we're about to leave or whatever, and me and this one Crip, he's like taller than me, he's like 6'6", like teardrop tattoos, and we're in the back seat of this vehicle, and you know, all of a sudden it gets surrounded. So like we had another vehicle already leave, like down this like dirt road. Yeah. And they're supposed to meet us at the other end because they had like bad shocks. They couldn't like have all the weight going down. But I kind of think it might have been a setup too. I don't know. But come to find out, the guy that I was sitting next to broke up with some girl in high school. Some just, I don't know, whatever the situation was, but the girl's brother was there, and he got like 30 rednecks to like, we're going to beat up these guys. And they surrounded felt like a Jurassic Park movie, man. Just like, they're like rocking the car. Damn, man. And they open up his door and they're like punching him. And this one guy like got on his lap and he's trying to push him off. So I just like elbowed him hard as I could right in the nose, blood splatters everywhere. And then I guess the guy that I elbowed, one of his friends, was in the front seat. He jumps over, unlocks my door. Now they're pulling me out from the left side. They're pulling the other guy out from the right side. We're like locking arms, trying not to get pulled out of this car. And eventually they pulled me out. And there's like probably 20 dudes stomping me out, man. With steel toe boots. They kicked me in the jaw. Like I felt like my jaw was broken. I was bleeding all over the place. Like I was just seeing stars. I was like almost blacked out. I was hammered too. It's like 3 a.m. And then I had this like sudden burst of energy where like I broke out of the stomping circle and like tackled the guy out and basically just rolled down the hill a little bit. Then I got up, staggering, running like with one shoe on, dirt road. And I could hear them coming closer. They're coming closer. I turn around and just like punch them or turn around and try to elbow them, like try to knock people out like as much as I could because like they're gonna kill me. Like I felt like I was gonna die. Damn, and you know, so they're chasing me down, and all of a sudden they like stop chasing me, and I'm like, I keep going. I'm like trying to run as fast as I can, just staggering, and like I found some like bushes. Like I basically went like pricker bushes, just like laying in there, and I'm just bleeding all over the place. And all of a sudden they're driving by. There's probably 5 trucks. These country boys like, where you at, boy? We're gonna get you. They're like shining lights. They're like trying to like kill me, dude. It was nuts. And I was 15 years old, man. 15. And so I'm like laying there for probably almost an hour, like almost dead, like conscious but not conscious, just like laying there like in the dark in the woods. And all of a sudden I heard my cousin like, Andrew. And I was like, my cousin, Ben. Yeah. Like, so I get out, I get into the vehicle, and the guy that was in the other vehicle, like basically we're sitting there, his face is worse than mine. They beat him really bad. Yeah. And he just basically collapses on my shoulders. I thought he was dead, dude. Like I'm trying to like wake him up. Like, dude, it was just crazy. Wow. So just a lot of, in those early years of addiction, I should have been like, okay, this is a dead end road, dude. Like this is for the birds. Right. This is not fun and exciting. Like this is horrible. Right. You know? And so just I hung out with a lot of gangsters, you know. I've done some gangster things in my life, but I'm not like a street gangster. I'm not like claiming I'm hard or anything.
Yeah.
Like I like to party. I like to be in those environments, but like the people I hung out with were ruthless, tough thugs, like gangsters, prison time, beating people up. My brother's he's tough too, man. I don't think he's ever lost a fight. Like he's probably knocked out like 150 people. Like just
damn, man.
Every party we go to, my brother's fighting somebody, just rocking them. Like, oh, here we go. Another party, we have to leave.
Yeah.
You know, and even like leading up to it too, like the party scene, you know, like I said, it started off with just hanging out. Hey, we're gonna go see girls. We're gonna go and do cool stuff. It turned into like, okay, I have to get high and drunk every single day to cope with life, to cope with people.
Yeah.
And this went on for 12 years. You know, I had an ex-girlfriend break my heart, cheated on me with one of my friends, and had to set him straight and hit him. And, you know, and thank God I went through that breakup, man, because if I stuck out with that girl, my life would be hell for sure. And I got to meet my wife a year and a half later. So I think kind of I'll share some of the like tail end of my addiction years. You know, probably the last few years. And another thing too, here's a crazy thing. Before I went on my 12-year run of active addiction, I was in a church service, like a revival. Yeah. And there's some people praying for me, pastors and prophets, and they're like, man, Andrew, someday you're going to preach the gospel. Someday you're going to speak in front of stadiums of people. And at the time, 12 years old, shy, introvert, awkward homeschooler, like this is never going to happen. Yeah. So I had that in the back of my mind, because when they said it, I felt like it was going to happen. I felt like this is a word from God. And, you know, long time goes by. We'll get to the results of that, but I always believed in God through my addiction years. There's so many nights in my life where I would come home from driving drunk. I drove drunk all the time. I drove high all the time. Yeah. And I'd just be laying in my bed like, God, forgive me. I sinned again. I've done damage tonight. Forgive me. And I just feel his grace and his embrace. Like God was with me the whole time, dude. I was just out there not living for him. Right. So kind of like probably the last year or so of my addiction years, man, I went to become a truck driver. Okay. I was like, man, I'm working minimum wage. I'm hustling. So I'm a small-time hustler. I'm selling weed, selling the 2 for $20, you know. Yeah. Got the 2 for $20 all day. You know, I was just a small-time hustler. You know, we'd go down to like Yonkers and stuff and send a couple thousand in and have some bunch of dudes posted up on the on the stoop, you know, like I don't know if my money's coming back. I don't know if we're gonna die out here, but we're gonna cop today. But man, small time hustler. You know, worked minimum wage. So I always had the poverty, like working minimum wage. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna become a truck driver. I'm gonna make some good money. And I don't have to hustle no more. I'm going to marry my wife. We're gonna do the right thing. We're going to follow God. And I get out to Tennessee. I go through the training. The first 3 days, they gave you 3 days to basically take the permit. Like you got to study. You got to read through the whole DMV book. Yeah. And like I aced the test, dude. I got I think like a 95. Like I crushed it. I got my CDLA permit. Yeah. I'm like, yes, I'm getting out of poverty. Come on. Yeah, man. The next day, I was supposed to learn how to drive the truck. And they're like, Andrew, you got a phone call, dude. And then I go into this office, and they're like, yeah, this is the lab. We found marijuana in your system. We can't do anything with you. We're going to put this on your DAC report. So all the CDL companies, like, look at this DAC report. Yeah. Like, this guy pissed dirty. So they basically weren't going to give me any kind of opportunity. Like, you got an hour to get your belongings. We'll take you to the Memphis, Tennessee bus station and have a nice life. Damn, man. So I went back to the hotel I was at. Man, I punched holes in the walls, dude. I was so pissed. And, you know, I didn't have enough money even to get back home. I didn't have enough for a ticket. I think I needed like $150, $200 to get back. Man. And I didn't have that. Yeah. So they're going to drop me off in Memphis, Tennessee. and I'd have to wait for my wife and my mom to get money to be able to send to me to buy the ticket to get back. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy a bunch of 40s, load up my suitcase of 40s, and I'm just at the Memphis, Tennessee bus station hammering 40s in the bathroom.
Yeah.
You know, just getting hammered, dude. Then I'd go out there just like, man, and it was a rough spot, man. Memphis is pretty gangster for sure. I was just walking down the street and I had my head shaved. This one dude walked by, a brother, and he looking at me like I was like a skinhead or something. Like, I'm not a skinhead, but he was looking at me like we want to fight. I'm like, I'm just walking, dude. I'm not trying to fight, dude. I'm just drunk, you know? Like, trying to get back to Binghamton. But so I'm in there. This is like one of the many rock bottom moments where I'm like, okay, I got to change, dude. And I came back to finally got to get the bus ride back, and I get home, I have to face my wife, let her down, let her family down, like back to working minimum wage jobs, back into like struggling, and a couple months after that, I get another phone call. So the first phone call is like, you failed the drug test. The next phone call was from my mom, like, Andrew, come here, the trailer's on fire. So I just moved out like a few months prior.
Yeah.
And I was living in an unfinished basement with no heat, wearing a winter coat in the wintertime inside, in the basement. My mom's calling me, the trailer I grew up in for all my life, dude, is like on fire. We lost it all. And I get there, there's like 50 firefighters out there. And my dad's out there in his boots and like basically naked, dude, in the snow. Like, and I'm like in my early 20s, and like I can't even have a place for my parents to stay. Or my brother, like I'm can't even take care of myself. I'm in an unfinished basement. Like I can't even be like, yeah, come over. I got a room for you.
Damn, man.
I'm supposed to be an adult, and I'm seeing my parents suffer. And so we lost everything. And then that was like horrible, dude. Like it took probably a year. Like we didn't have money to demolish anything. Like we literally had to like contractor bag everything and like take it to a dump. Like we'd spend like, or we had a burn pit out back, or we buried some of the stuff. But it was like we couldn't just hire somebody to come in and clean it all out. Like we had to like do it ourselves. Like every weekend. It was horrible, dude. But the good thing, God supplied a beautiful house. They got a house way bigger, massive house, dude, like 4-bedroom house. And it's a beautiful place. It went from like trailer to like a nice middle-class house.
Wow.
And God provided it, man. And through that time of losing it all, every memory, every picture, people ask me, why do I post so much on Facebook? Why do I post a lot of pictures? Because all the memories that I had going up to like, 20 years old, they're all wiped away. They were all burnt.
Damn, man.
You know what I'm saying? So like all that was just burnt. And Stone Cold Steve Austin, I had like WWE action figures, like Stone Cold came out.
Yeah,
he was
man.
all charred up. And he just like, he survived the fire, but
he always does, man.
he just came out like even tougher than ever. But, I had like all my memories just kind of wiped out. But so that was another thing. I'm like, okay, I gotta change, dude. Like this is another thing. I can't even help my parents. I'm only thinking about how can I get high or drunk today.
Yeah.
And one of the things that stood out to me too, when I was in high school, I was in a class at Maine Enwell. Miss Moyer had a creative arts class, and we got to write a letter to ourselves. 5 years after graduation, you're supposed to pick up this letter. And in this letter is like your future goals. What do you want to do with your life?
Okay. Yeah.
How are you supposed to live? Like, well, if you were to teleport 5 years from now, what does life look like? And man, I picked up this letter. It's like you're gonna be traveling the world, preaching the gospel. You're gonna speak in stadiums. You're gonna drive truck. You're gonna do all these. You're gonna have a house. You're gonna be married. You're gonna have kids. Like doing well. And like none of that happened. When I'm reading this letter, I'm in an unfinished basement with no heat. So I was like, that was not a pastor telling me what to do. This wasn't a friend saying, hey, you need to do this. It was nobody judging me. It was like my own handwriting.
Wow, man.
Like, yo, this is what you want to do. This is like some of the vision and things God put in your life to do, and you're not doing any of it. 5 years more went by and I didn't do anything. I actually degressed, selling more drugs, doing more things, just reckless. So I'm like, okay, that was another wake-up call. I'm like, okay, I got to change. So after that, we get to 2008, and I'm like, okay, maybe if I get married, that will help me with some of my insecurities, because I carried a lot of trauma from ex-relationships with them cheating on me. And I'm like, it'd be nice to be in a committed relationship, married, blessed by God. So me and my wife, we got married, and, a beautiful wedding, dude. Just,
Yeah.
we were together for 4 years, and we're like, we're going to do this. And, had this incredible wedding. And my wife's Laos, so she's from near Thailand.
Okay.
So she speaks Laos too, and English, but just a godsend, man. And when we first started dating, she was Buddhist, and then I would take her to church and stuff, and she would feel the presence of God. Like, dude, this is it. Like, I ain't ever experienced this in Buddhism.
Right.
Like, she felt like the Holy Spirit, like on a powerful level, seeing miracles, seeing people healed. And she's like, okay, I can dig this. And I actually helped her a lot with her night terrors and stuff. And she had like authority over demonic spirits that would come from whatever, that culture would bring in, like ancestors. Like, it's definitely a deep talk there sometime, but she found freedom for the first time in her life.
Yeah.
So we get married. Everything's going good. At this point, I think I'm drinking some wine. I'm cutting back a little bit. I'm not like drinking liquor. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing pills. I'm smoking, trying not to smoke weed, but I was still smoking some weed because I thought I was going to quit smoking weed after I failed the drug test, but still doing it. And, we get married, and then all of a sudden, 2 weeks after that happened, I go to a wrestling event. It's called 2CW,
okay.
some underground wrestling.
Yeah.
In Binghamton, and it was hardcore, man. It's like, I don't know if you've ever been to one of those events, but dude, it's wild. Everybody in there is hammered. They had like $1.50 mixed drinks. Man, I'm drinking all night. Me and my brother were drinking. My buddies were all hanging out, and there's this wrestler named Brody Lee. He's like this 6'8", like lumberjack looking wrestler, and he's doing his promo in the ring, like talking smack to the crowd. And I just stand up and I'm like, you ain't rugged, boy. Like, you ain't rugged. Yeah. Just like talking smack to him. I was hammered. And he like actually like stopped his thing, and he starts like talking smack to me. Like, we had like a thing, like we just going at it. Just a regular guy in the crowd. He like stopped his whole spiel to like address me.
Yeah, man.
So it was funny. But basically that was like midway through the card, and then he was in the main event, this hardcore 4-on-4 like wrestling match, and everybody's hammered in the place, dude. And basically the fighting went from the ring to the outside into the crowd. Like, one of this wrestler jumps off like the turnbuckle and lands on all the people outside. Does like a flip off the turnbuckle, and like they catch him, and they're all fighting in the crowd, and everybody's hammered. They had this guy took off his prosthetic leg, and they're passing it down the crowd, and the one wrestler used the prosthetic leg and just hits another dude in the face with it. And then like my brother's walking by Brody Lee. Yeah. Luke Harper was his name in the WWE, and my brother just shoulder checks him, dude. Like, talking to my brother, son? And my brother's a gangster. He's like, I'll fight the biggest wrestler here. Yeah, man. And then he like pushed my brother, and my brother like slipped over some like chairs. Like there's like alcohol all over the ground. It was like wet. It was wet. It was slippery. Like there's so many chairs. And like I just seen that, and I threw my vodka and cranberry at Luke Harper and hit him right there. And like, we're all coming together like to all fight, and like there's wrestlers and there's security, and my brother's just throwing wrestlers on the ground, dude. He's just like chucking them on the ground, dude. And we get kicked out of this place. Yeah. So we're outside. I'm smoking a Newport, just like pissed. Like, this guy disrespected me, and we're gonna get him. And so like probably 10, 20 minutes go on. The match finally ended, and they're in the ring. raising their belts, like, yeah, we won the match. And I just like break through security. I pick up a steel chair, I throw it over the crowd and hits one of the wrestlers in the ring. Dude.
Oh, man.
And Luke Harper seen that, and he came out, like literally everybody that was in this venue came out in the parking lot to fight me and my brother, dude.
Yeah,
it was just nuts, dude. Just like, it was crazy. And I thought I was going to get arrested. Nothing happened. And so that's just 2 weeks after I got married.
Dude, that probably helped their career though, man. Like doing that kind of stuff to them, man.
Yeah. No, he was in like a wrestling magazine too. I can't remember which one it was, but he talked about that event, the riot in Binghamton. Yeah. It's on YouTube too, but.
Wow, man.
I have to send you the link. But so this is going on. And at this point in my addiction years, you know, doing dumb stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Just like I'm on the verge of dying, going to prison. Like I could have 5 DWIs on my record. I don't have any, which is a godsend. You know, the cops were merciful to me many times. Like they'd give me the test and be like, hey, park here for 4 hours, and if you move, we're giving you a DWI. Like stuff like that, dude.
Yeah.
One time I was taking my brother home. We're leaving a party. He was hammered. He was talking smack to the police, like running his mouth to him, like, officer, I'm just trying to get my brother home. But I was hammered, dude.
Yeah.
You know, and they let us go, dude. There's so many. I should have 5 DWIs. I remember one time we were coming back and we had a bunch of pounds of weed in the trunk. We're in Endicott and we're at a stoplight. And the cop just turned around and just pulled us over for no reason. Like, it was just like, there's no reason. We didn't do anything illegal. They probably smelt the weed from driving by. And we pull over and they're like, you've been drinking? I'm like, yes, your officer too. So if you're dealing with police, like, you don't want to run your mouth to them. You don't want to be disrespectful. I say, yes, officer. And I'm honest, even if it's to my own fault. I'm like, yes, officer, I was drinking. I had a few beers and I'm like, here, I'll show you. And I got out and opened up the trunk, and under the blanket was where all the weed was, but I had the 30 pack right there. And I'm like, see, I had a few beers, you know, and he gave me the sobriety test and did the walk and everything. Yeah. And then there was like another cop that came and happened to know one of my cousins, like they played football together or something. He's like, you know this Rosenbarker? I'm like, yeah, it's my cousin. And like, him and the other officer were talking. And same thing, they're like, yo, if this car moves, you know, in the next 4 hours or whatever, we're giving you a DWI. Like, mercy, mercy, mercy. I've been in accidents. I was riding with my friend Dan, and we did a bunch of Vicodin. I was driving in Maine and going around this like windy curve. It was like 55, and I seen this pickup truck with its 4-way flashers on. And they're starting to pull over to the right side of, like, on the shoulder of the road. So I went to go past him, and he was actually taking a wide left turn. So I actually just back of the vehicle went underneath like this truck and just launched this truck into the ditch. And this poor old man, his head was like split open. I don't even know if he survived. Like, I didn't hear if he died. I don't think he died, but he was bad. And the vehicle's totaled. You know, I wasn't even wearing a seatbelt, like, and just driving under the influence was just that's kind of what I did, man, all day, every day, high, drunk, driving. So kind of getting back to like the timeline where we're at, probably a month after I got married, I was supposed to be at work. I was working nights downtown Binghamton. And I told my wife, hey, I'm going to work. I love you. See you tomorrow. I called out of work and I went bar hopping with my boys. You know, we're just going to go get drunk all night, bar hopping. Yeah. And I'm a month after being married. Like, if you're married, you shouldn't be out there bar hopping with the boys, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's not good. And, you know, one of the places we were at in Johnson City, like, one of my friends, they had beef with him, and there's like a lot of them. So we just left that bar. We went to a couple other bars. But, you know, I had a weapon on me, and we basically got to downtown Binghamton, you know, did the whole nightclub stuff and drinking. I was drinking all night. hammered. Came time to like where everything shut down. And when you drink a lot, you got to pee a lot.
Yeah, man.
So I'm up on the 3rd story of this parking ramp in Binghamton. And like, I never really liked cops. You know, I'd seen them. Yes, they gave me mercy a lot, but also there's many times where they gave me tickets for just petty things, and they're always harassing me or harassing my brother or harassing our family. And so I, like, personally, I didn't like police. My views changed now. I get it now. But, man, I was on the 3rd story of this parking ramp, police car right below. And I'm like, I'm just going to piss on this cop car. And there's hundreds of people on State Street.
Yeah.
They don't have the parking ramp there anymore, though, but it got torn down. But anyway, I pissed on this. And it was like a 3-minute, like, it was a full night's worth of drinking. I'm just like, Tony Montana, say hello to my little friend. And I'm just like, and this cop's like, open the door, like, who the, you know, and just like a splat out. Like, they were so bad. Literally, they ran up the stairs, dude. I didn't have enough time to pull my pants up. Like, my pants, like, they just like, you want to piss on the law, scumbag? And they threw me up against the wall and just like slammed my head into the wall and like handcuffed me. And then they kicked my legs out and they like threw my face into the pavement and like dislocated my shoulder. And like they like kept slamming like my face and they like had their knee right on my back. Like, they just really are super rough with me. Like, just like, you want to piss on the law, you scumbag? I'm like, officer, can I pull my pants up? And like, no, and it's crazy. I'm like handcuffed, my pants down. There's like chicks walking by, like seeing this guy, like it's like mad people just walking by, like this guy's like, you know. And then as they threw me on the ground, the weapon fell out and they gave me a felony.
Oh man!
And so I got felonies. And anyway, so it's crazy that most of my criminal activity was in my juvenile years. So a lot of that was sealed. So this appeared to be like my first like real offense. So I only had to do weekends. I got a lawyer too.
Yeah.
I had to pay thousands of dollars and I got off, but I don't have a long, hey, I've been to prison or, you know, and I should be in prison or dead. If it wasn't for God's grace and hand on my life and giving me second chance after second chance after second chance after second chance. And this time I was like, you know what? I need to change, dude. Like, I can't keep living like this.
Yeah.
So after all this, and my wife's devastated, you know, like, this is the man that you married, and he's out acting a fool, pissing on police, you know, getting felonies. He's facing like 5 years in prison, and he just got married. Like, you know, that's not healthy at all. So, so we get to the point where I'm like, okay, this is kind of my turning point of my life. This is like where things really started changing. And I went to Calvary's Love in Johnson City. And that was the church I was a part of too. Like, I would attend there throughout my addiction years, you know. And I remember I was sitting on the left side of the church, and they had a guest preacher, and his last name was Mosbach. I can't remember what his first name was, but he was an evangelist, and he was preaching the word. And you know, God's still got a plan and purpose for your life. And I just felt the Holy Spirit so strong, dude. I was sitting there just crying. I said, God, like, I repent. Forgive me of everything I've ever done in my life. Like, I'm done living for myself. I want to live for you. And I had this surrender moment where I surrendered everything to Jesus. And like, even after the service, I was like standing up, and I just could feel like the presence of God so strongly all over me. I couldn't even like leave. Like, I was like literally the last person left in the auditorium. I'm just standing there, just feeling the presence of God. It was just such a powerful moment. And I said, God, I know you called me to preach the gospel. I know that you called me to do these things, but how am I going to do it? I live in poverty. I can't afford Bible college. I didn't even know how to get into ministry.
Yeah. I
didn't have any mentors or anybody to say, hey, this is what you have to do. Here's some steps you got to take to become a preacher or ordained. And it was crazy. So a week after that encounter, Pastor Jared, he's the pastor there now. He was the youth pastor at the time. And he's like, God's been highlighting you, man. He's like, I think you do great in youth ministry. So I'm like, absolutely, dude. Where do I start? What do I got to do, man? I'm willing to do whatever.
Yeah.
I'm willing to like move chairs. I'm willing to do pro presenter, do lights, like whatever you need me to do, set up stuff, I'm down. I just want to serve God now. Like I'll volunteer, like, and just, he gave me like my first like real opportunity to like serve in ministry. And then, you know, he gave me opportunity to preach. He gave me opportunity, like, and that was a big thing too. Like, yes, I was surrendered to God, but there were some times where I relapsed a couple times, and, you know, I'd be praying for people, you know, praying for teenagers, trying to help these teens, and like, you know, drink like after or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I did kick everything. I've been 100%. And actually, what's today's date? 16th?
Today's the 15th or 16th, yeah.
So tomorrow will be 15 years, 100% clean and sober.
Wow, man.
So, but yeah, man, I'm helping these teens out, man. And like, one of the things that helped me stay sober is being in an environment of healthy people, man.
Yeah.
And I was part of a team at the youth group. We're doing, you know, local missions trips. We're out serving the community. We're helping these teens get activated in their faith. And, you know, I grew there too. I became like one of the group leaders for all the guys in the youth group. The youth group was large, probably 100 teens, and I was in charge of probably 60 guys. And I'd have events at my house. And then all of a sudden I helped them do Calvary's Love Owego, helped them plant that church. I was the youth director there. Grew a youth group from 0 to 25 kids, and made a massive impact there. But one of the things that really was like, yes, it's cool reaching the next generation, but part of me too was like, I do have a heart for the addiction recovery world, because all my friends kept dying, dude.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sober now. My friends that I used to smoke weed with, people I used to drink 40s with, progressed to heroin and they're dead, you know. My buddy Joe Chastain from high school, I used to party with him all the time. I used to get high after school all the time. Like, he overdosed and died. And my buddy Brian Klimchuk, he's somebody I rode the bus with too. We talked so many times, and he just died like a month or two after graduation. You know, just I have friends after friends, and I'm seeing like my family. I'm seeing all my friends go to prison. I'm seeing them going, like, just lives wrecked. And I'm like, okay, I got to do something in this recovery thing. So I came over to Two Rivers Church, man. I came over to Two Rivers. I was the youth pastor there, man, Pastor Will. He believed in me, not only just to be like a leader of like a group, but like, I want to help you get to that next level and be a pastor. And I was the youth pastor, man. We started a youth group in my garage in Johnson City, because Two Rivers Church at the time started out at Regal Cinema in Binghamton. So they didn't have a facility. So, man, we had 43 teens in my two-car garage in Johnson City, and seen so many kids' lives change there. But like the recovery thing was like, I got to do something about this. Like, I know what it's like to be struggling with drugs and alcohol. I've been struggling with this for most of my life. So I started brand new. It's a recovery group I started from scratch. And actually yesterday was our 10-year anniversary.
Wow, man.
And we had this amazing event. And like I said, dude, this recovery group, I think it's probably the best recovery group out there. It's fun. So it's like, let's socialize. Like, let's hang out. Let's do fun things together. We do battleship water pong, so we're like playing beer pong without beer.
Nice,
you know,
man.
We got like floating cup holders. You know, we do volleyball. We do, you know, football, base. We've done home run derbies. We've done, you know, all kinds of things where you can get together and have some fellowship and hang out and actually do something cool sober. Because that was one of the hard things for me, is like, if I'm going to get clean and sober, am I going to just be stuck at home all the time? Am I just going to be like, you know, not doing anything? Like, I got to stay away from all triggers.
Yeah.
Can't go to the gas station because they got Dutches behind the person who sells their gas, and there's the beer aisle, and, you know. And I'm like, no, man, we're gonna have fun. If I'm gonna be clean and sober, this is gonna be the best years of my life, and it's gonna be clean and sober.
Yeah, man.
And then another thing is like, man, I'm hooked up with all these artists, people that we'd see at the bars, the clubs, rapping and doing performances. Like let's create a place for them to perform their art in a sober environment. So we'd have classic night events, you know, like half of the event would be like, you know, a party feel. We'd have some pong set up. We'd have some live music, and then the second half of it, we'd have like a live worship set.
Nice,
and
man.
have somebody share their testimony, And then I'd come up and preach like a 10-minute message and pray for people. And it was just a powerful, I call them classic nights. I've done, I think, like 33 of those events in the last 10 to 15 years. So I do like 3 or 4 a year. And we did one last night. It was a banger, dude. It was so cool. I'm like super pumped about it. 10 years. But man, you got any questions for me? I've been talking a while.
No, dude. By the way, I used to see these events. I know you did one on an island one time, like in the Susquehanna.
Yeah.
I've seen that over the years, and I've run with the same circle of people that you've had on, and I've always wanted to be a part of something like that.
Yeah.
And it sucks that I missed last night, man, but I definitely want to get involved somehow. And I really appreciate what you're doing for the community, man.
Yeah.
It seems like you are somebody who a lot of people can look up to. And in that your testimony, besides God, you didn't mention anybody that you looked up to. Was there anybody that was a rock solid figure in your life that you could turn to when you were going through your dirt and telling you to like get clean, or just telling you to stay away from things?
For sure. Yeah. Definitely my wife.
Yeah.
My wife would give me the ultimatum, like, get high or I'm gone.
Right.
Like, she was like, we ain't playing that, dude. She would kill my high. So definitely my wife, number one support. Pastor Will Hampton, massive mentor. And like he didn't care if I had this background. He's like, we're going to give you an opportunity, and opportunities.
Yeah.
Where other places it's like, this guy's got some stigma.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
This is the town drunk. We're not going to promote this guy to do whatever, you know? So I think Will Hampton definitely, you know, and just even my friend Isaac, I remember one of the last times I got high, he was with me, and he just like made me feel like crap. He's like, dude, you're better than this. What the heck's wrong with you? You got so much left in your life. Like, you're ruining it. Like, he just was like real, give you the truth. Like, and he just like called me out on getting high, you know, because I had like a couple months sober when I was trying, and I relapsed to them, and he just like made me feel horrible, dude.
Right.
Like, killed my high. You know, so it is good to be able to have people in your life that can speak into you, and they have your best interests at heart. Because if you're around yes men and people like, yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with it, like, you're going to be in a bad place, you know? And absolutely. And I think one of the things I want to share too, and then I'd love to answer like any more questions you have.
Yeah, man.
And like, you run whatever questions you want to ask, and I'll try to answer. Remember I was talking about when I was like 12 or so, and I had these pastors praying for me, and they're like, man, you're gonna preach the gospel. You're gonna speak in stadiums. Like, that was always in the back of my mind, but it was like kind of way out there. Like, it's pretty far out. You know what I mean? That's like, how is this gonna happen, man? This is like speaking in front of thousands of people. Somebody who grew up in a trailer, somebody who's high and drunk most of his life, brain shot, you know. And it's crazy. So I started Two Rivers Corning. I did this for almost 5 years. Incredible church launch. And I live out here now. But I felt this call for an evangelist most of my life. An evangelist is basically like, we go out there and we reach people that don't believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
We share good news. We go to places that generally aren't in the... I preach in a lot of churches, but I also like to preach outside of churches. And I like to travel. So I've been traveling. So I've been doing this for like 3 years now. But one of the first, so before I get to that point, one of the things that really sparked me to step out and become an evangelist was I was in Allison Park Church in Pittsburgh, and I got 3 prophetic words from prophets there. Like, this one prophet's doing like a leadership thing, and you know, so many people in the room, and he's just like, and he just started prophesying. Like, he came up, he prayed for me for like 3 minutes, and like prophesied over my life, like called me out of a room of like so many people, and prophecies that I've heard throughout my whole life.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this is it. This is the timing, you know? And one of the things he said is like, it's like God's put this vision for you to do, which was the stadium things. And And it's like this massive chasm. It's like the Grand Canyon. Like you can't get there. It's just like impossible to get there. But he's like, God's going to pick you up and literally bring you there. So one of the things with prophetic words is, yes, you can get those.
Yeah.
But you have to take steps in those directions. So one of the things that I did with Two Rivers is I gave a 9-month notice and just like, hey, I feel a shift in my call and this is what I'm going to do. And so as I stepped out as an evangelist, I preached up near Syracuse, one of the first churches I preached at. And one of the board members came up to me after.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you got to connect with this guy, Joe, in Syracuse. He does these faith and family nights.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay. He does them at the Syracuse Mets.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. So, he gave me his number. I called him up. Like, this is a cold call. Like, I'm just a regular guy calling some random business owner.
Yeah, yeah.
I live in power. I don't even know what to say to a business owner.
Right.
And we had this conversation. It's like we knew each other our whole life, dude. Like, we talked for 30 minutes, sharing same vision, same, like, ideas.
Yeah.
It's like we've known each other our whole life.
Wow.
And, like, he's like, and he believes in what God's doing. He's like, I'm going to give you an opportunity to speak at the Syracuse Crunch game.
Okay.
The hockey team is the AAA Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah.
So I got to share there. And then we did an outreach with like Daryl Strawberry, man. Daryl Strawberry came in and he brought his testimony. But this past July, I actually got to speak on the field in front of the stadium, dude.
Wow.
And it was just wild, dude, because God has given me visions of this over my life. I remember having a vision where me just stepping up and just preaching, just the crowd going, yeah, and just bringing it and seeing thousands of people's lives changed. And I'm seeing it. And even before that, like I can sing a little. I'm an okay singer. And one of this Mission Syracuse, they have a choir, and basically I just sing along with the choir too. And my son, at the time, he was 12 years old. And we're singing in front of the stadium, and I'm like looking around, I'm looking at the stadium, and I'm just seeing people feeling the presence of God for the first time. There's people just crying, like we're singing like "God Bless America" or like the national anthem or something, and they're experiencing the presence of God. Mm-hmm. And then we also had worship sets throughout the whole thing in the entrance, and we did ministry throughout the whole thing too. But so I felt like my lifelong ceiling that I was reaching for that felt so unattainable.
Yeah. God
got me there, but he also made it the floor that my son, Riley, will start his life out on. This kid is 12 years old singing in front of the stadiums, thousands of people.
Yeah.
Like 7,000-8,000 people.
Wow, man.
And he's singing and he's doing awesome. My son's crushing it with singing. He's in the basketball. He did some baseball. He's doing tennis. Academically, he's an honor roll student. Like the he's like in the smart kids groups, man.
That's good, man.
Just brilliant. And here's somebody like me. I didn't even think I was going to graduate high school.
Wow, man.
I got kicked out of high school. 11th grade, I pushed a teacher and I got expelled for the whole year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I didn't think I was going to make it. People close to me were like, yeah, you should just drop out, dude. Mm-hmm. And but yeah, I seen God make this happen. So I'm excited. I want to see some more stadium events. I want to see, I just want to see a massive move of God. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of people don't believe in God as maybe some of the ways Christians represented him. Maybe some bad experiences, but I'm telling you, God is so good. Like anything you would ever want in life is found in Christ, man. And he brings healing. And I could share a lot of stories on healing too, maybe. But I want to hear from you, man. Just let me any questions.
I'm loving this so far, man. I like that you're a storyteller. I like that I didn't have to ask too much, man. But just kind of like thinking about things that I want to know about you. You had all this childhood trauma. How did it not manifest into some kind of monster as an adult? Yeah. How do you stay grounded and in the moment
for sure
and work through these low points? Yeah. What is your secret to being who you are? Because you seem very calm and collected.
For sure. Yeah, so I definitely think if you want to walk 1,000 miles, you got to take one step at a time. You want to eat an elephant, you got to take one bite at a time. Like,
Yeah.
so it's what you do daily,
Mm-hmm.
a daily discipline. I spend time with God. When I'm on my way to work, I got a 30-minute drive, and I'm like listening to the Bible. When I'm working, I'm listening to the Bible. I'm praying. I'm spending time with God and allowing Him to heal me. And that's what Jesus does, is like He heals, He restores, right? And it's not like I'm walking around limping or damaged. Like, I feel restored. Like the old me is like so far gone. It's hard for me to like relate with addicts now. Like, I try, like I have to like really do a lot of work to kind of go back and just imagine all the trauma and imagine all the pain that I went through, because like God has brought me so in a completely different world. Like, it's a different world, dude. Even driving with my cousin, we were driving, and my cousin lived a whole life of prison and cripping, and he was Muslim for a time in prison, and seeing, I remember he came home from prison one time, and he had this gland that was like swollen like a golf ball. He's like, I don't have health insurance, but in our debates, you say Jesus heals.
Yeah.
So he's like, pray for me. And I prayed for him, and this massive gland shrunk. And by the next day, it was completely gone, and he's completely healed. And
Wow.
he didn't convert that moment, but he came to Two Rivers for one of our events, and like he gave his life to Jesus, and like,
Yeah.
and that was like surrendering pounds of weed. Like, that's how he didn't have a normal job his whole life. He literally was under the radar his whole life, and surrendered everything. And me and him he was like 3 years sober, and we're driving, and we were seeing people rolling up next to us, smoking blunts, listening to some hip hop, and we're like, that was us. But
man.
I can't believe like it's a completely different world now, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just like, that's the best way I can describe it. But as far as healing, some of the things that's helped me is I have sought some counseling too. I got a really good counselor, Jay Lascoli, out here in Corning. Not only will he like hear you and give you like sound advice to work through things, and he'll give you great biblical, just ways to get through and navigate through your trauma and your pain, but he'll pray for you. I'm telling you, man, I'll leave those sessions and I just feel like free, dude. And the best thing I can tell you too is just have like, man, pray to God. Now, I'm gonna say a quick prayer for you right now. If you're dealing with trauma or pain,
Just
repeat this after me. Dear Jesus, I need you right now. Take my pain.
Take my pain.
Take my trauma.
Take my trauma.
Take all this stress.
Take all this stress.
I surrender it all to you.
I surrender it all to you.
No more resentments.
No more resentments.
No more unforgiveness.
No more unforgiveness.
Man, free me from this bondage.
Free me from this bondage.
And from this moment forward,
And from this moment
I want
forward,
to follow you, Jesus.
I want to follow you, Jesus.
Change my life.
Change my life.
Fill me with your Holy Spirit.
Fill me with your Holy Spirit
And make me a brand new person.
and make me a brand new person.
In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name,
Amen.
amen.
I know y'all felt that. It's more than just words. It's more than just a lecture. It's more than just saying ABC 1, 2, 3. Like, there's power behind it. And but healing, that's what Jesus did when he walked through this earth, man. He healed people. He healed paralyzed people. He healed blind people. He healed that's just what he does. And he wants relationships. So I have a relationship every day. I don't just see him on Sunday and then do whatever I want the rest of the week. That's how I was doing it in the beginning. But every day I'm like, God, take this out of me. Take this resentment out of me. Take this hurt out of me.
Yeah.
And every day I confess those things to him.
Go ahead. It seems like the prayer helps ground you, man. Like, just to kind of relate to that, I have control issues.
Yeah.
It ruined my relationships.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to fix it. But when I started praying for change and surrendering, I feel a lot more grounded now. It's like those things, I'm seeing a woman right now, those things aren't showing up. The insecurities that I had, the jealousy, the control, none of it matters anymore to me somehow.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm changed. I don't know if you heal in a month, but how is this possible, man?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think instantly and progressively, you know. Like I said, the first step would be receiving Christ as Lord and Savior, and then just allowing Him to work in your life, have the Holy Spirit work in your life. I would say get plugged into church. It's cool seeing you going to church, and Two Rivers is an incredible place. But I think some of the stuff's a little progressively, but you can definitely be healed and feel change. And as far as like control, I definitely think learning a bit about your girlfriend and just kind of like seeing some things that she wants to accomplish in her life, kind of get an understanding of, how she operates, how she moves, and then also communicate what you would like to see and what you want to do with your life, and then kind of work together to those goals where it's not just like, hey, we got to do my thing all the time and you follow along, but like, let's do what we want to see happen and come together and work together.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about the control part too is, man, when you just give it to God, when you just say, man, God's going to work things out, like it removes a lot of stress from you. It removes a lot of worry. Like if you're constantly worrying, like it's going to create anxiety. It's going to create, man, what's going to happen tomorrow? And you're constantly going to be thinking about the thing that's going wrong,
right?
Instead of like everything that's going right. Like I could be focused on this red cup. Like, man, this red cup, man, it's got water in it. And I don't know, like you could just be focused just on this one thing, this negative red cup. But you're missing out on this bottle, these bottles, this table. We're in a room. There's so much more to the world than just this one thing that's dominating our thinking. So I think control and just giving it to God. And here's the thing where I knew, like, I felt I've let my control over to the Lord too, is especially like COVID hit.
Yeah.
Brought fear in the whole world, man. Everybody's afraid to go outside. It was like, and I just, not that I was out there like a super spreader or anything like that, but I lived my life. If I die, I die. I'm going to heaven, man.
Yeah.
I can't control if I live or not. You know what I mean? So that was a beautiful thing to be able to just, I give up my life. Like if I live or die, I'm going to be good.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there ain't nothing I can go through that's going to just wipe me out, man. You know what I mean? And I've been through a lot of hell in my life, man. I've been through so many things, and God brings me through it. And I still have air in my lungs, and I still have hope. Especially with all the loss. I've done so many funerals. I've done, young 20-year-old women overdosing and dying, and seeing their 3-year-old at the casket like, Mommy, come play with me. And you're just like, she's dead. I've seen so much death where it's hard to cry.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard. Like when people die now, like it's hard for me to cry because I've seen it so much. Trauma, PTSD. I feel like somebody who came back from war,
Yeah.
In the middle of a heroin epidemic, and then loved ones too, dying of natural causes or car accidents, or life's short.
It is, man.
So one of the things that helped me, and if anybody's listening to, that gets me out of staring at the cup of trauma, of pain and suffering and the things that aren't going good in my life, is actually turning to God's plans and the beautiful things that He has in store for me. So I could be stuck on this. I could be a victim. I could be like, dude, I grew up in poverty. I grew up in a trailer. I grew up with lack. I grew up with, being molested. I grew up with having my heart ripped out by girlfriends, and I could always focus on the negative. But one of the beautiful things is when you actually start living your life.
Yeah.
And looking for hope, and how can I help people? Like when you're helping people, if you're like depressed, go up to some random person on the street and give them $20 and pray for them. You know what I mean? Like do that, and you ain't going to be depressed.
Yeah.
You know, not our life isn't supposed to be just like, help me, pour into me, pour into me. But we're supposed to get filled up with God, filled up with love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, filled with the Holy Spirit, that we can walk around and start blessing other people and pour into their cups. You know, the Bible talks about like, you know, the fruits of the Spirit, like I just mentioned earlier. But you think about it like you're an apple tree and you're bearing fruit that remains. I've never seen an apple tree just take a bite out of its own apple.
Right, yeah.
Right? Like the apples are for other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And not everybody's an apple tree. Some people's a peach tree. Some people's, you know, like coconuts and
man.
and some avocados. And, you know, just like there's different things. And we all have gifts, talents, and abilities to bring to the table to be a blessing to each other. But I think the big part of it is not focusing on what I don't have, but what I can do.
Right.
And stepping into like the call and just having vision for tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's like, honestly, that helps me through everything that I've been through, is having vision for tomorrow. If I don't have vision for tomorrow, my life's over.
Man.
Right? If I'm like if life just ends when I die, like what's the point? What's the point of living?
Yeah.
Like if I die, I go to heaven and it's going to be incredible.
Right.
And I'm never going to have to cry ever again. That's what the Bible says. No more tears.
Yeah, man.
You know?
All that loss, it's definitely does desensitize you, man. And it's easy to lose yourself inside vices. And just remember death, you know, my sister, just my job loss, my girlfriend left me. I was just hiding everything behind that marijuana, man. And like, I never thought I would get off of it. Yeah. Thought that this is me for the rest of my life. Yeah. If Willie Nelson is doing it, if Snoop Dogg is doing it in close to 60s, this is me for the rest of my life. Yeah. And then all it took, sort of like you, was somebody holding me accountable. My counselor was like, why don't you just get off of it? Yeah. And how come after all these people told me to get off of it, it took from somebody who I barely even knew, but I trusted. Yeah. And I immediately got off of it, went cold turkey. Come on. No side effects. Yeah. And I'm almost 2 months in and I don't even think about it anymore. Come on. Like, that's amazing, man. Yeah. And that's probably similar for addiction. Like, it takes somebody to wake you up. And I guess you also want to have to change yourself, because financially I was burying myself, buying ounces of this stuff at a time and just whipping right through it within days. Yeah. It's amazing what you can do when you set your mind to it, man. But also when you do have faith. I think being on this path right now is right where I need to be, and I'm meeting the people that I need to meet. Yeah. And God has been doing his work in me. And it seems like he was with you this whole time. For sure. Holding your hand, man, even when you like felt like you were turning your back on him. Yeah. Like, that is a really forgiving, loving God. And I'm so grateful that everything has been happening lately. Yeah. I got my kids back. I got my house back. Come on. You know, I'm not going to speak too much. Yeah. But everything is back in order. I got my job. And my mental health is on the up and up right now, man. It's a country record right there, country song. Got my wife back, my kids back. It's a beautiful thing, man. Yeah. And this is only strengthening my belief in him. Yeah. And I do want to lead other people to him. Yeah. I want to become more spiritually mature, and I want to understand the word a little better. Absolutely. But I've already seen the work that could happen with that mustard seed. For sure. And you're responsible for bringing me in this direction too, man. Like the prayer that you said over me, the words of wisdom. Yeah. Anybody who showed up for me during my low points became a staple for me, man. And I don't forget those things. I think you're a very valuable person. and I want to see what you and I could do together.
Heck yeah.
And, just thinking about victories, like, have you had any victories lately that have inspired you to want to keep going?
Yeah. So, I mean, this year, like ministry wise, has probably been my best year. Like I've seen over 7 people come to Christ through the ministry, through preaching in the jail, through preaching in churches, preaching on, public square events, classic night events, brand new events, just leading people to Jesus, preaching in the stadium and doing work at the Rochester Red Wings. I think that's like, man, like if I could just retire now, like I've seen like everything God's revealed to me. But I do feel I have seen a lot of success and impact in communities and stuff. But I think the next 10 years or so is probably like the last years of my prime.
Yeah.
So whatever I'm going to do, like I want to make the most impact, and I think it's going to smash anything I've seen leading up to this point. And it's going to be through people. It's not going to just be an Andrew Rosenbarker thing.
Yeah.
But victories wise, just, like I said, I've had some health issues too recently. And, I have a mass on my neck and it's next to my carotid artery. And, I've done a couple of CT scans and, I've done ultrasounds. And so I'm going to get scheduled here soon to get the biopsy of what's happening. But me personally right now, I'm facing some serious possible health issues. And like I said, it started off this big one here, and now there's some here, there's some coming down my collarbone. We're going to do another chest CT next week and kind of see what's happening. But like I said, I'm good. I'm good either way. If I die, I'm in heaven,
Yeah.
I've lived my life to the fullest. And, I got a book I'm writing now. I want to do more podcasts. I want to put more content on all social media. I want to be able to have content even out there, even after I pass. Maybe my wife or son can post some of my videos. My phone's full from all the storage. I don't know, I'm going to have to get some more storage stuff. But having hope and having joy and having a sense of humor and I'm in God's hands, man.
Yeah, man.
There's nothing that can happen to me that's going to you can't ruin me. You can't cancel me. You can't I'm good.
Yeah, man.
I'm blessed, blessed,
Yeah,
but I definitely think even for you, man, the stuff you're doing here, you're helping other people heal. You're getting real stories out there, and this is going to just go astronomical. Like I said, post 5 times a day reels, different content, and just get the stories out there, and people's lives are going to be impacted by it. And everybody's hurting, dude.
Yeah.
We live in a broken world. We live in a world where there's so much pain, so much suffering. But it's not about how much darkness is out there, because there's darkness everywhere, man. But it's about people of the light, having the courage and the balls to say, what, I want to stand up. I want to shine my light. I'm not going to put a basket over my light. I'm not going to silence the truth. I'm not going to just be shy and just let life pass by. Go after it, and light up a room. And there's not a fight between darkness and light. Literally, you just hit the switch and darkness has to go instantly.
Wow. Yeah, man. I like that.
You know what I mean? It's not a battle.
Yeah.
It's not oh, it's so dark out there. It's man, you just turn the lights on. Stay with the lights on, man.
Man. Well, you gave me a lot to think about, man. And every time I talk to you, I leave inspired. And I have a feeling that that's how others view you as well, man. So We could wrap this up, man. If we need to dip into some more stuff, we'll definitely do a follow-up.
Yeah, for sure.
But I appreciate your time, man. I appreciate you praying over me when you did.
Absolutely.
Even today, like having me guiding me through. Was that like a sinner's prayer?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guided me through that, and you're wiping my slate clean, man, and you're helping me grow this thing, man.
Yeah.
And you're very valuable, man. And I don't want anything to happen to you, man.
And just like what you felt too, just like you're just clean. Like that's what he does. He cleans you, man. He changes you. He just washes all that stuff away, and you can feel different. You feel changed. You don't have to have a guilty conscience. You don't have to walk in shame or guilt.
Yeah.
Like you're just forgiven, And the way God looks at you now is like you've never even sinned in your life. The Bible says he separates your sin as far as the east is from the west.
Wow, man.
Like it's just like what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Man. But it's a daily thing, man. It's a daily relationship. It's not just some man-made religion. It's not just like, it's like having a walk with God and talking with him, praying to him, worshiping, getting to the scriptures, man.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue down this path. When I do become more spiritually mature, I would like to lead others.
Yeah.
I do believe that there is something inside me that wants to lead, that wants to inspire.
Yeah.
Hopefully this platform right here could be a launch pad for something like that.
Absolutely.
But I'm just open to wherever he's guiding me right now. And I just want to say receptive to everything, man.
Absolutely. I like how you said too, like pouring into other people. If you look at like the Dead Sea, it's like it's uninhabitable. Like it's just so much salt. It's like it gets poured into, but there ain't no outlets being poured out.
Right.
So there's no rivers coming out of it, and it's just stagnant water, dude.
Yeah.
And it like burns too if you're in there. My dad was he like swam in the Dead Sea,
Also, it burns your skin.
Like you feel like kind of like some burning sensation. You can like float on the water. Like it's like,
wow, man.
Like it's pretty intense. But we're supposed to be not only poured into, but we're supposed to pour out and constantly have this flow going. Like if you're just getting poured into, help me. And then it's all about you all the time. You're just basically like stagnant water.
Yeah.
And it becomes infected and it becomes like,
yeah, man,
not healthy.
I can see that.
So, but when you're like, man, this, like God did this in my life. Now let me help somebody else.
Right.
And then you release some of the goodness that he gives you, and you can make up somebody else's life better. And, it helps for sure. So,
wow, man.
come on.
Well, guys.
Movie Mike.
This has been an amazing episode.
Got the Mariners to go into the World Series.
God is good. Everything is on the up and up. This has been another episode of From Broken to Built, the podcast with Movie Mike. Thank you, Andrew Rosenbarker, for having me on, man. I really appreciate you. And I'm just blessed by your presence, man. Cool. Thank you.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure. Broken to Built, man. And life will break you. Life will beat you down. But give your life to Jesus. He builds you up, and he's going to do great things in your life. You're going to be a skyscraper someday. You're going to go high and make a massive impact into this world. So you don't have to stay broke. You don't have to stay down. You can be healed. You can be restored. And it's possible. Come on.
Man.
There's levels to this shit I'm trying to tell you I'm on. Why you always acting like you never do wrong?